there's the matter of the cabal. You know, this conversation since Governor El-Rufai spoke that he's going to unveil, expose the elements in the presidency that are working against the APC presidential campaign and all of it. Yes. A lot of persons are beginning to speak, and northern elders have come out to say that the cabal, you know, in the presidency might be leading the country into anarchy and all of that. If you look at the papers this morning, this Nigeria carried that story. And I'm wondering, who is this cabal? Even the wife of the president had mentioned it at some point, and now we are hearing it again.
It confirmed what El-Rufai said. Yes. That's the first lady. Said it about the cabal. Now, what is the cabal? I mean, but people are wondering, what's the meaning of cabal? Where did it come from? Where did that word come from? It actually has a mystical origin.
Yes.
To tell you, it has a mystical origin, a Jewish word, Kabbalah. That's how it started. And they started using it to mean esoteric, cryptic, texts in exegesis, as an analysis of spiritual meaning and all of that. But then in the 17th century, during the time of Charles II and Oliver Cromwell, and they started calling some people around him, calling them the cabal, especially when the English went into an alliance with France in a war they wanted to have with Netherlands. And so that's how the word cabal, and the word cabal itself, it became interesting because the 5 people who were around Charles II, who were controlling things, then each of them, the C stood for somebody, I think it was Cunningham or so, A for Ashley, so B, Buckingham, and something like that. So they say, oh, the cabal, the CABAL, these are the names of the people. These are the people who are. In any administration, you always have what in political or sociological terms they call the trust. These are the people who have the ears and the eyes of the man in charge. It happens everywhere. If you have in the family, the father and the mother, they have their own cabal. You have cabals in chieftaincy, in the chieftaincy affairs. You have cabals in government. Even Buhari has his own, Buhari will be foolish not to have his own cabal. We remember the word cabal was made so interesting during the time of Yaradua. But then before then we had Kaduna Mafia.
Yeah. Yes.
I've forgotten his name now. This man we used to call the man who died in this administration. I've forgotten his name now. Very tall, the former publisher. I've forgotten his name now. He told me a story about how he was a secretary to the Kaduna Mafia. They used to hold meetings, and then when they hold meetings, nobody is there. You drive yourself to the place in Kaduna, and they will roll from morning till night. The next day, they fed themselves and all. He told me this story about how they work. So the idea of cabal is there. The point is, what does the cabal do? Is it for good or for bad? That is where this question is. That if we don't have fuel, and it's because of them. We don't have cash. It is because of them. Then we have an evil cabal. That's why they're saying, they're mentioning names. They mentioned an old man in a villa. They mentioned a small boy who bears a Yoruba name.
Exactly.
But it's not Yoruba. Because they link it with a certain former leader in this country. There are other people who is also a minister. They've mentioned them. So who are these people who are holding the man to ransom? That's why I say, watch that cabal.
All right. Well, I remember under former military president Ibrahim Bangida, they called them the kitchen cabinet.
Yes.
At that time, during the military era. Now it is the civilian administration. We call them the cabal. The point there is, those who are in the circle of the presidency, or any administration for that matter, for them to be cabal is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a nickname you give to people. What they do is what determines whether they are good people or they are bad people, as the case may be. Now, those persons who are within that circle, most of the times are people who execute or implement some of the things for the government. They are the pillars that hold the government, standing in many cases. They are also the ones who do sometimes dirty jobs for the presidency, if at all. So whatever the things, they wield a lot of power and a lot of influence. In the entire administration. But the point there is that this cabal or these people are those who have traveled, who have seen the world, who understand the scheme of things, the geopolitics and so on. So if the cabal that is being mentioned at this critical time are so bent on disrupting the system just because they want to have their way, then it tells that there may not be a positive cabal in that instance. Well, of course, some names were being mentioned. How? Well, the point there is that whether they are or they are not, it's not within our place to say, oh, we debunk it or we confirm it, but some names were mentioned. So the point there is that what will the cabal really do for us? Are they at this critical time? Are they the ones who should actually ensure that the three agenda of President Buhari is achieved? The issue of fighting corruption, issues of insecurity, and issues of the economy. Right. These are things that we expected the cabal to do.
We're waiting for the association of the cabal to come out and say, my hand not there. I'm not there. But they have not come out to say anything. They don't even come out in their own shadowy statement to say, we, the members of the cabal who mentioned our name, but we are not doing the job. They have not.
Maybe in the coming days, we'll see some persons debunking those whose names were mentioned. Maybe they'll come out to debunk that they are not members of the cabal, whatever it is. But we'll see how things are handled in the coming days.